Missing media. Error. The files are removed, archived, or in the library. These are recommended reading, viewing, and listening.
All right. Missing media, some of the things that I wish we had that we don't have anymore is, and I'm saying this, maybe I'm the youngest guy in the room here, but I miss old BET. And I mean, maybe I'm dating myself. I'm talking old school Barton Cable BET. When like we sat down and did something and it was positive messages. I miss A Different World. I miss shows like I don't know, the first 2 seasons of Martin. Stuff that uplift the black culture. It doesn't always like something I loved and it was educational and it was good and I guess it just ran its course. It's like Blackish. Why is there one Blackish to a million other properties out there that don't uplift? It was just like, this is what it is. We're going to make these hyper-violent, over-sexualized individuals stay away from this part of town. No, I wanted to see Cliff Huxtable. I wanted to dap it up with them. I wanted to go to Hillman. I mean, that looked dope. And we get a chance to hit those messages. We could be together. We can be together. So, yeah, classic BET. Miss it.
Right. Well, that's 100%. BET obviously was black-owned, still maintained the name, but it's owned by whites. Mr. Johnson had a tremendous idea when he came up with it. And then you had the gentleman from Detroit, Ed Gordon, who was doing the news. That's when they actually had news content. But they went from having news content to having majority entertainment. And so that's just showing us as dancing and singing songs, which is artistically we're superior in those areas. That's fine, but that's not all who we are. We do need to know about local events. We need to know about national events. We need to know about international events from our own perspective. And we had that initially with Black Entertainment Television. And we also had more black positive art. The Different World and Cosby Show, I'm glad you mentioned that because Mr. McCastle, you and I have talked about that a number of times. That gave a lot of people a vision and inspiration to attend historically black colleges and universities. The Huxtable Show was a vision of what it's like to have a wife that's a lawyer, a husband that's a medical doctor, and people said stuff like, well, that doesn't, well, we've seen people, I mean, there were people that I knew that my parents exposed me to growing up who lived exactly like that. And it wasn't like, and these are black people too. We knew some whites that lived like that, but blacks as well. And I grew to see them not just as attorney this and doctor that, but like as regular people. And so that helped me quite a bit in terms of my own progression with respect to education. And it let me know that there's a responsibility I have as a black person in front of black kids as well because of what I saw them do. And so we have to be very careful though about our consumption of media, and that's why I have this quote by Du Bois that I would like to discuss. That this is actually something he wrote in 1952 regarding art and what he came up with, and I'm wondering how much of this has changed. He said, "May I say that television is an example of the many devices which modern civilization has been able to invent, but has neither the moral courage nor mental power to use for the benefit of mankind. For the most part, television today appeals to morons and uneducated people. There are, of course, exceptions, but after repeated efforts to view television programs, I have given up and never look at one now unless I am caught where I cannot escape. Of course, I can think of splendid entertainment and education through television, but it will never come as the main object of television is, as it seems to be now, the entertainment of stupid people and the making profits by almost compulsory methods of sales promotion." This is something Du Bois wrote in 1952 in Academy magazine. And so I'm wondering if what Mr. McLean has said, if we kind of, with the program, have we gone back to that? Because during the late 80s, early 90s, with the positive progression of some of our popular music and shows like Different World and the Cosby Show, we don't have anything like that anymore, BET like the type of news format that they had. And so we also need to think about celebrities, our exposure to them, particularly black celebrities. And so with celebrities, the question I ask is, who made them a celebrity? And what do they represent? And so from the very beginning, Hollywood has built a solid foundation on the bedrock of anti-black racism. The very first blockbuster movie, Birth of a Nation, in 1915, which you gentlemen are familiar with, actually paid homage to the Ku Klux Klan. It's financed and produced by Boston area Jewish European investors. It revived the terrorist organization, which, using the film for recruitment, grew to its largest size ever. And later, Hitler drew inspiration for such propaganda films to win the support of Germans. He got his model from Hollywood of what he was saying about European Jews in Germany. The deprecating images of blacks has continued to the present day. So it's not something just more than 100 years ago. Black men's corruption and immorality and black women's portrayal as bed wenches are common themes. Denzel Washington and Halle Berry's Oscars for Training Day and Monsters Ball, respectively, are prime examples. Cultural appropriation is another prevalent motif. As European composer Gunther Schuller said, the blacks have always invented the music. The whites take it over, then the blacks invent something new. Finally, anyone asking of black celebrities, anyone thinking of black celebrities as role models, perhaps needs to take a second look. And I have this quote by Professor Black Truth. White supremacy is sophisticated. The enemy is maintained control by being adaptive. When Dave Chappelle talks about the black community, he's not talking about the rest of us. He's talking about himself. There are several layers of control between the enemy and us. Sometimes immigrants are an example, whether they're European or African immigrants, because they don't always identify with African Americans. From these political prostitutes that white power selects, puts tons of money into and puts positive press behind, all the way to these singers and dancers who are presented to us as our leaders. They have infiltrated our community through these preachers and sellout social leaders, and they also funded and established over the decades phalanxes of phony front men and women, who they put the name black on their organization and tell you, these are black people's newest leaders. And the Negroes you see in front of the cameras are the worst. We're up against an organized offense. Our problem is we don't want to have to accept that, because it will be giving up some of the music and TV shows and movies that white power has put in front of us that has controlled us like a child. These compromised operatives are not part of the resistance. If they were, white power would not have made them rich. This is from Professor Black Truth's video about Ice Cube's interview with Tucker Carlson, which was published on August 6, 2023.
Well, yeah, and I agree with all of that. So, in addition to what you were saying, it's like we don't have the luxury of a case-by-case basis. Like, and it sucks, because as a nation, we have, like everyone's nation, we have good, bad, somewhere in the middle. Just because you possess a skill, which is great, now a lot of our people do, and they can sing, they can dance, they can do that, that doesn't exactly make you a black leader. I mean, it's just like, you just dope at being the thing you are. But I think it's the leadership of adapting what you are doing for a greater purpose. Like, and I'm going to use this, and I'm not picking on anybody here, because of our obsession, I think, with celebrity as a nation, let alone as a population, our obsession with celebrity is just this. Hey, I could possibly do that. No one talks about what happens behind the curtain.
It's good information. You have to pick out the good from the bad, or the useful from the non-useful. And all of them is something good. But if you just say the average child, they gonna view things that are not, productive or something that's going to help them. So for them to have access to all of that, I'm going to say you just got to teach them the right from the wrong. So if, they looking at the right from the wrong, then they're going to lean towards, I've seen on TikTok, I've seen a whole lot of biblical videos, which are very educational when we're talking about the Bible, because that education won't steer you wrong and will help you in life. So, yeah, it's a little bit of good on all of them, but the bad outweighs the good.
This is great.
However, I will say this. I bring a level of disruption just wherever I go. And I love this platform, man. This is so awesome. The time just melted away. So this is making me feel good. If I go freestyling, I know there's a few people who are watching this right now who's just getting a real spoonful of Sam right now. And I'd like to apologize because, sorry, I'm allowed to take it at first. I'm like more than salt. Well, you shouldn't exactly eat it, a spoonful of it, but you know, a little bit goes a long way. And that's where I am. So I just want to put it like this. As a podcast and a professional talker, and to some degree, depending on who you ask, I'm a professional clown. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we talked about today, and I hope the importance of it wasn't lost by cheeky humor and me just being me. So I just want to put that out there. This is like my disclaimer part. But inversely, if you loved it, you could see me act a fool once a week on my podcast at samshownation.com. So there we go. I really wish someone else to say anything else because I'm feeling something. This was good. This was therapeutic. This was great. And if you had me back, I'd love to come back because as you found out, I think I got an opinion on just about everything.